Oh yeah, this is good. This is really good. Look at me doing street style tricks. That's what we got on today's show. My name is Mads Peterson. Welcome to the world of esports. On today's episode of the World of Esports, we've got a wide range of topics for you. And first up, it's going to be CSGO roster changes. We're going to be taking a look at the G2, FaZe Clan, Optic Gaming, Evil Geniuses rosters and get you up to date on what's been happening across all these teams. And just an example is G2 Esports, they dropped their all-French roster in favor of an international lineup by taking Nexa and Hunter from Crazy. And that's just, well, crazy. After that, we've got Producing Greatness with Declan Murphy. And Producing Greatness is basically our behind-the-scenes look of how the events happen. Declan Murphy is the talent manager, and he does his job behind the scenes, basically, so nobody really knows what he does, but we're going to show you. FIFA 20 came out just recently, so we've got a review prepared for you on that. We're going to be looking at Volta Football, the brand new street football mode, Ultimate Team, some esports stuff. Well, basically just FIFA 20 in a nutshell. And League of Legends, the European Masters Finals just concluded, and we've got a recap for you, getting you up to date on what happened at that tournament. And last but not least, Ari Neiman. Everybody knows him as Dota 2 scene's best host, stage host at that. And we've got a Skype interview with him coming up at the end of the show. It's that time of the year where CSGO teams are just going to shuffle their rosters. And who doesn't like a good roster shuffling? We're going to be taking a look at how G2, FaZe Clan, NRG, Optic Gaming have fared with their new rosters and get you up to date on these new lineups. Autumn is a beautiful season, but this time around it's also very busy for the professional CSGO scene. All thanks to the recently concluded Major in Berlin, which combined with the start of the new competitive season, meant a pretty notable player shuffle. 5 out of 8 teams participating at ESL One New York made changes to their active rosters over the course of the last 2 months, with the most significant ones including FaZe Clan and ENCE. The latter announced that they'll be replacing Alexi B with Sunny, which happened during the tournament in Berlin.
I think it was about the time that one day I would play there. They are competitors, they want to be better every time. I was the only natural choice what they could bring on.
And as for FaZe Clan, this US-based organization decided to part ways not only with Neo, but also with Guardian, who will now once again represent Na'Vi. FaZe Clan have also played their first tournament with new player Brokey, as well as Coldzera, something that everyone has been talking about these past few weeks.
So he's our anchor, he's super good, and he fits really well. He's a hard worker, he works like 15 hours, 14 hours, he just plays CS every day, and it's pretty good because he brings this for the team as well. He make everyone like play more. It's gonna take a long time for we fit together, but I think the team can be super good, like the roles fit really well. I think like we can be a good super team.
But the fun doesn't end there, as G2 also has a lot to prove now, with Kiyoshima playing as a stand-in for Shox at the Big Apple, and then both Nexa and Hunter joining the team right after the event, making the formerly fully French roster now international. Furthermore, both E-United and Optic Gaming will have a chance to test Freakazoid.
It should be always the same goal. If you don't have a goal of being top 10, top 5, or top 1, then why the hell are you playing this game? So that's my goal, regardless of people believe in it or not.
And Cajun B, respectively.
I'm playing like the more like lurker role now. Also have like the second AWP and some maps, so overall I'm super happy.
And let's not forget about probably the most notable change of them all, NRG Esports, or rather, Evil Geniuses. EG announced NRG's CSGO roster acquisition on September 26th, right at the beginning of ESL One New York, and as it turns out, this decision quickly bore its first fruits. The ESL Pro Tour has recently been announced, and if you don't know what it's all about, here's a piece about it.
The ESL Pro Tour is the manifestation of ESL and DreamHack's vision for esports, connecting nearly 20 CSGO events into one circuit and one story. At the foundation of it are challenger-level tournaments. Aspiring teams enter here to win their first professional trophies and rise to the Masters level. Local tournaments will qualify you for international challenger events. Winning one of those will get you into a corresponding Masters event. To play in a Masters tournament, you can also win an online qualifier or be invited on a high ESL World ranking. It is on this level teams travel the world and compete for the Intel Grand Slam, and the highest honours are 2 Masters Championships each year. All of this will be tied together by the ESL Pro Tour ranking, with tournaments categorised based on their size and prize purse. A Masters Championship will have the largest amount of prize money and a field of 16 teams. Teams 1 to 8 of the ESL Pro Tour ranking from the previous 12 months, while they will qualify directly. The other 8 will come from a LAN qualifier, with teams 9 to 16 from the ESL Pro Tour ranking and 8 wildcard teams from around the world. Recent results, well, they will matter the most. Tournaments will provide their full ranking points value for teams qualifying for the nearest Masters Championship and half of their points value for the subsequent Masters Championship. The road to the first Masters Championship starts this autumn. DreamHack Masters Malmo, IEM Beijing and the ESL Pro League Finals will send their winners to the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice and provide points to teams on the road to ESL One Cologne. Starting with the Cathedral of Counter-Strike, all Masters Championships will boast a $1 million prize purse.
Welcome to a behind-the-scenes look of the world of esports. Pretty cool, isn't it? Speaking about cool and behind the scenes, we spoke to Declan Murphy. He's the talent manager, and he makes sure all the talent's needs are met at events. And he does so much else as well. So let's see what his job is all about. A key part of the production is, of course, the talents, and to keep the talents at bay, we have Declan Murphy right here. Can you tell us about who you are and what your job is?
So I'm Declan. I'm the talent manager for ESL at most global events, so ESL One, IEM, Pro League, looking after mainly Counter-Strike and Dota talent, but sometimes a little bit PUBG, a little bit StarCraft.
Looking at your work schedule, let's say the 9 to 5 kind of aspect of it is obviously not 9 to 5, it's basically 24 hours a day, but can you describe waking up and then till you go home?
Yeah, so I wake up in the morning, depending on what event I'm at, I'm either in the hotel with the talents or I'm in the staff hotel and I have to go and meet them in the morning. So yeah, pretty standard morning routine, get dressed, have a shower, eat, all that stuff, and go meet the talent for the first shuttle. So I will come in with the first group to make sure that they're all good and ready to go. I'll make sure that they're going through makeup, I'll go check the set, make sure the set's all ready to go, make sure that all the fridges are stocked so that they don't basically have to wait on anything. Everything's already prepared ahead of time for them. I try and do that as much as I can. Speak to the producer, let the producer know the talent are on site, they're ready for their morning briefing, and then we get into show live. That's when things calm down a little bit. By that point, the next set of talent come in, so for our second series of the day, like a casters and the next analyst will come in. And then as the day progresses, I'll move more into planning the next day. So things like prepping the email, so every day they'll get an email with what their activities are. Actually finding out when those activities can fit into the schedule the following day. Planning with the travel department, when shuttles have got to be for talent. There's so many little check boxes that you got to do every day to make sure that you're staying on top of it.
Just looked actually, and we might be able to get everybody on the 11:30 flight, which would be fine technically. You're already on that flight.
But the layover in London.
Yeah. They're gonna love that.
Yeah, as the day winds down, making sure the talent are ready to go at the end of the day, get them on that shuttle, get them home, get them ready to rest for the next day.
And then looking at how you got here, how did you get your job? It seems to be a very unique job position to have.
2018 Katowice, I was there as a Dota 2 referee for the group stage of ESL One. Did the group stage, and after that I was like, right, I want to do more. Esports is where my passion is, I want to get involved in this more. Spoke to the talent manager at the time, a man called Jacob Harrison. He was like, okay, cool, well, over the next couple of days for Dota, I'm going to sort of teach you. So he did, taught me a lot in a very short amount of time, tried my best to take it all in, and then we got to the end of that and he was like, yeah, do you want to do next week as well? And we got IEM going on. So I was like, okay, cool, well, ended up staying an extra week and a half doing talent management. Then it went quiet for a couple months, a couple events rolled by, and then ESL One Birmingham last year. I got picked up again, and I've done pretty much every ESL One and IEM since then.
What's the most interesting aspect about your job?
I think it's the uniqueness of all the different people I work with. Every single person obviously has their own needs, their own wants, different dietary requirements, and it keeps you on your toes trying to make sure that all those different elements are met and they're maintained. yeah, honestly, I just love the uniqueness of being able to come in every day and just have a new challenge in front of me. I think we'll make it. If not, then I'll speak to Mal and let go. We have like a contingency. Should be all good.
This rise from coming from a Dota 2 referee to being a talent manager, what's that like? What's the most challenging aspect of your job?
I think it's sometimes there's not enough time in the day to get everything planned for the following day. So press interviews, obviously, like you said, everyone wants to talk to their talent. So sometimes it's you've got 3 or 4 of them and you have to say no to some people, unfortunately, just because you can't physically get it in anywhere. Also balancing that with the producer and the show and that sort of stuff, which always comes first. But yeah, it's trying to balance the workload in a way that makes sense. Honestly, sitting down and working on the schedule is probably one of the most challenging parts of my day.
And since you've been to so many tournaments, you've been all around the world, basically. It's talking to and being with all the best talent the scene has to offer. Are there any personalities that really stand out in terms of being unique?
Again, every single one of them, they all have their little niches that make them characters to be around. So we have Chad's always lovely to work with. OJ again brings a different fire to the green room. That they're all like got their own little things about them that really, when you put them together, make like a really nice sort of environment to work in.
And now it's time for the news as another professional athlete invests in esports. Last week, Rudy Gobert, Utah Jazz center, officially joined the ownership group of Rekt Global, known for being the parent company of Rogue and the official London Call of Duty team. Gobert is known for being a big fan of esports and video games and will now work alongside people like DJ Steve Aoki and Nicky Romero and producer Taney to help the teams grow. Twitch, Riot Games, and Epic Games, 3 giants of the video games industry, have joined forces, and they will now aid the Interactive Software Federation of Europe in creating its esports division. The main goal of this new body will be to promote the industry as well as cooperate with governments and lawmakers to regulate and potentially recognize competitive gaming as a sport, not only in Europe, but also globally. Alliance have announced its new Dota 2 roster after a bitter departure of the entire squad and its acquisition by Team Liquid. The bosses of the Swedish organization have finally revealed their brand new Dota 2 roster. It will consist of Limp and Hanskin, a Swedish duo returning to Alliance after 2 years of being apart, as well as Nico Baby and 2 ex-NIP members, 3-3 and Fata, who will also debut as the team's captain. And last but certainly not least, let's once again witness how Brolin secured Fnatic's victory at DreamHack Masters Malmö, earning not only $100,000 for the team, but also a spot at IEM Katowice 2020.
Oh dear, things are arriving, so it's Brolin! With just the C's dead! No! He's dead! Shot, Apex! They only need 2 more! DW, have they done enough? Shots to save by complete the Cinderella story! Live from Sweden!
FIFA 20 just came out recently, and of course we're going to be taking a closer look at it in just a second. But one of the new features is Volta Football, a street-style soccer mode, which is basically, FIFA Street, but with fashion and stuff. So I wonder, in lieu of that, can Jason do this? I bet not. It's that time of year again where the virtual boots are about to be laced and millions of players are ready to head onto the pitch in the latest edition of the ever-popular EA Sports franchise FIFA. And now, it's time for FIFA 20. This year's edition of FIFA isn't just any old rehash of a well-known formula. Nope, this one's got some extras and then some for the footy fanatics ready to reach for the controllers and hit the pitch and the streets. Here on the World of Esports, we usually focus on the esports side of things, but first, there's Volta Football, a new mode that's basically FIFA Street mixed with plenty of street culture, some esports potential, and fashionable ways of customizing your created character and team. A great feature for those who want to fiddle with the details. But on the field, this could be something more. The street balling works well, albeit with some minor hiccups such as skill moves being less effective than expected, which forces players to rely on quick passing rather than quick wits. Looking purely at the main esports mode though, Ultimate Team is still where all the action is. The core mode hasn't changed much, but some quality of life improvements have been implemented, such as a sleek little menu wheel when customizing your squad. Gameplay-wise, we're looking at a much more passing-heavy game compared to recent years, which means no more ping-pong balls at excessive speeds, but rather more thought-out and tactical passes to clinically punch the ball through the opposition and into the back of the net. Transitioning from FIFA 19 to FIFA 20 might be a bit difficult at first, but after a few matches, you'll learn the ins and outs of the new passing, controlling the defense efficiently, and the new pace of play. In terms of content, career mode and friendlies have once again seen some upgrades, with the former still not being on par with past iterations. However, we're looking at a much better overall version than last year, and the esports scene is hopefully going to grow even larger as the season progresses. FIFA 20 gets 4 of 6 certified World of Esports fun points for its efforts. So the EU Masters and League of Legends, they just concluded their finals, and the finals were actually played just a stone's throw away from this studio, so that's pretty cool actually. But what happened exactly? Well, let's find out.
So much competition, so much national and regional pride, so many teams, so many games. It all comes to a crescendo now. Welcome everybody, this is the final weekend of the European Masters Summer 2019. Berlin International Gaming, Mouse Sports, Fnatic Rising, Vodafone Giants.
Nar taking so much damage. There's the Vanguard's Edge. They're trying to jump in. Nice to the Nar, but he's not able to go down. It's Renekton who falls.
Naldo goes down. His 2 kills immediately for Melitza. And now there's a stun going on to NG as well. He'll fall shortly. Does survive for a second as Magic Felix trying to turn things around. Bando is so damn tanky.
Tries to go back in on top of this. They will eventually take down Tolkien. And it's Big who find themselves a pick.
Oh, look at this. NG's caught out. That's going to be Melitza. Burns him on down.
3-0 for Big!
Vodafone Giants, a 3-0 victory.
This is it! Ladies and gentlemen, this is the finals of the European Masters Summer 2019!
Instincts going low, looking bad with an eye patch.
Big versus Giants!
Blasted the woods with a backpack and a lit match. Spark one time, get the whole city looking like a dark shade of orange when I burn it down. What it is, what it do, whole clique getting live on the talk of the town. Lemon City had a mouth and it wouldn't shut up. On a hunt for a crown, when they get it, I'ma burn it, cause nobody in the game right now even deserve it. What I need a crown for anyway, I should have a halo.
And that is going to be first blood. But a double kill for Deadly for his kick in, and Donards is down. It's a triple kill. He's going to try and steal it. You can see he's at 1 health. Trying to go. He got the steal. Melitza, are you kidding me?
What it do in here? They got lost my mind.
The charge comes in. They're going to go underneath the tower for this one here, and they find everything that they wanted. Deadly is not going to be able to survive. They have Razor. They have everything. 4 go down. Deadly, it's all on you, but you are shut down. No Nexus turret, and Melitza falls. Big have done it. Big have won, and Big are your European Masters.
For the first time, the Dark Region are the champions are Big!
Oh, sorry, I didn't see you there. I'm busy taking selfies for the World of Esports Twitter.
Come on, get inside, I'll take you for a ride.
So remember to follow us there at World of Esports on Twitter, of course. But now it's time for the social media section. And when it comes to social media, some matches can cause a little more buzz than others. Just like a recent duel between Ziwu and Simple. And here's G2's response to their recent accidental misplay in typical G2 fashion, of course. And there's always a good time to roast some marshmallows, am I right? Always.
I would have preferred to see the JW Orc, to be honest with you. But there we have it. Roasting some marshmallows in the front, that's good.
Not bad.
ESL One Hamburg is coming up in just a few weeks' time, so what better way to prepare for that than to talk to Ari Neiman, stage host extraordinaire for most of ESL's Dota 2 tournaments. He'll be talking to us about the teams in the tournament, the prospects, and of course, the upcoming DPC season.
ESL One Hamburg happening just a few weeks before the first major in China. This is a very good time for teams to kind of get loose and get a feel of each other, so it's very, I'm sure something to look forward to the community. A lot of new rosters, I mean, a few adjustments in the current patch, but yeah, I mean, overall it's a new season and it's a new set of matchups and it's new set of teams playing together. So Hamburg is definitely a nice opening to this season for me in a highly competitive level. So I would like to see what goes on. One thing, I love that Virtus Pro is part of the direct invite. The last one, ESL One Birmingham. At that time, Team Secret were tied with Virtus Pro in terms of having the most ESL One wins. Team Secret is now above Virtus Pro in terms of the most ESL Ones won. Virtus Pro has an opportunity to tie it back again because I'm sure I don't just speak for myself, but we were really looking forward to a Team Secret Virtus Pro matchup during ESL One Birmingham. Fortunately, Virtus Pro could not make it, but they are here now in Hamburg. And I, for one, would love to see Secret part of the direct invite for the remaining 2 slots. I would love to see that. Hopefully, Puppy, the boys are rested up, and they will fill in that slot because I would love to see the defending champs, man, go against maybe, during the early stages or maybe the latter stages against Virtus Pro, because those are the 2 most dominating teams in ESL One. I would like to see a Secret Virtus Pro in the final. I think that is, by the history of ESL Ones, has a lot, it's very juicy, very spicy, has a lot of storylines building up to it. Like I said, Virtus Pro having the most ESL One wins at one point, and Team Secret tying that and going above that. I would love to see the defending champs defend it against, the second most dominant team on an ESL One currently, and to see if they can tie that. So we all know how Virtus Pro is. They are freaking juggernauts and monsters preseason. They have Resolution, which is a new piece. I would like to see a Secret Virtus Pro matchup, and it will also be indicative to if Virtus Pro is a better team this season, or has the potential to be better than the past roster. Because for the longest time, this has been a very consistent roster. And I think ESL One was the debut of Solo when he joined Virtus Pro, and that was the beginning of their really strong dominance from that point. Because Solo won in ESL One, like when they won ESL One, I remember that. They won again after that, so Solo's still part of the team. And yeah, I would like it. This is a good measure. I mean, it's still too early. It'll still be their first, of course, in playing together, and we're not sure if their last position, the last person they're filling in for position 4, will be a stand-in or will be a permanent part of the roster this season. So it's a nice preview to see how Virtus Pro will be shaping with their new roster.
So that concludes today's episode of the World of Esports. I hope you've enjoyed it because I had a blast being your host today. Remember to hit us up on Twitter at the World of Esports or hit us up on the hashtag with the same thing. My name is Mads Peterson. Thanks for watching and well played.